The UN says the 11-week Israeli blockade has caused the rate of young children suffering from acute malnutrition to triple.
Children who have to undergo surgery and then they wake up during the surgery because there's not enough anesthetics. They can't feed their own kids adequately. They still go out every day trying to deliver, give medical assistance to kids and mothers where they can.
I want to hop into a Face the Nation interview with a Save the Children CEO, which is a nonprofit that helps children experiencing different crises globally on how specifically in this interview they have not been able to get aid into Gaza since March of this year. So if you can, leave us a like on this video. It helps us out a ton. It lets us know you enjoy the content, and let's go right to the panel.
So there are 1 million children in Gaza in desperate need. The UN says the 11-week Israeli blockade has caused the rate of young children suffering from acute malnutrition to triple. What are you able to get in to help?
So since March 2nd, Save the Children has been able to get nothing in whatsoever.
Even though the blockade's over?
Even though the blockade is formally over, we haven't been able to get any of the 50 trucks that we have around Gaza on the border ready to go in. We haven't been able to get anything in.
Why?
So our staff are operating currently still with what we have. We have dwindling stocks, medical supplies, therapeutic malnutrition treatment for children, very young children. We're still working where we can and delivering goods while we can, but these stocks are dwindling fast.
What's the choke point? Why can't your trucks get in?
We haven't gotten any authorization to get them in.
From the Israeli authorities?
Yes.
It's very much important, and we've had reporting throughout this conflict of trucks, aid trucks, food trucks, medical trucks being turned around for having as little as a knife in the silverware or medical needles, with plenty of videos to match of the IDF opening fire on the few trucks that do get through once they're stormed by starving Palestinian civilians. But it's important because Israel and a lot of Israel defenders will claim, oh, Hamas is actually blocking the aid from Palestinians, but we have Oxfam reporting on half the trucks that would be needed to provide the needed nutrition to Palestinians are actually getting into Gaza, leaving Palestinians to survive on as little as 245 calories a day, I think, which is less than is in a single can of beans on average. And now multiple organizations are giving firsthand accounts just like this one.
The director of Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza told CBS this morning that only a few hours remain before the generators in the hospital shut down because they don't have enough fuel to keep them going. What are your medical workers seeing on the ground? What happens if a hospital like that can't function?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. It's completely abhorrent. We're hearing stories from colleagues in Gaza that are talking about children who have to undergo surgery and then they wake up during the surgery because there's not enough anesthetics. So that is what's happening. That is what it looks like.
That is horrific.
It is.
The UN office that oversees these efforts have warned as well that kids are leading households because their parents are gone.
That's right. There's thousands and thousands of children who've lost one or more parents, lost their immediate family. So yes, we'll have kids, young kids, taking care of their younger siblings, trying to survive.
What does that do to a society?
It's unbelievable what's happening to this generation.
I completely agree, especially when you start considering what's next and you put yourself in the shoes of these kids who have had everything taken from them. Their parents, their families wiped out, their neighborhood, their schools, everything destroyed, likely their friends as well, forced to become an adult at the age that me and you would have been running around the playground playing tag. But what does this not only do to their outlook on life, but their outlook on those responsible for doing this to them? It's untenable, right? And it's why none of these actions have made Israel any safer, let alone have shown any care or regard for the innocent Palestinian lives that are being slaughtered. It's the forceful destruction of a group. It's definitionally what we know as genocide.
It's horrific, as you can imagine. So we have almost 200 staff there, almost all of them Palestinians. And can you imagine, they still go out every day. They have their own children to take care of. They can't feed their own kids adequately. They still go out every day trying to deliver, give medical assistance to kids and mothers where they can, hand out food whilst we still have it, trying to give people trauma counseling whilst if we can reach them. But it is incredibly difficult. They're just trying to survive, almost, I think, pushing away thinking about the trauma too much, because otherwise it's very difficult, I think, to get up and go to work.
I think the saddest part of all of this is that for these people, life has to go on despite what they're experiencing. They still have to work to the extent they can. They still need their doctors to provide care. They have to rally together for everyday necessities, all while trying to put what's happening to them in the back of their mind, or else it's probably hard to get out of bed and have the motivation or the will to live anymore, all while not knowing when might be the day that their residential building gets leveled, their car gets targeted, or their job, or whatever it might be, and or that disease might get them, starvation might get them, sickness. I believe by the end of this, the totality of casualties will be far higher than anyone can imagine. And it'll really be a world-changing moment. I mean, it already has changed the world, but definitely in terms of how we look back on it, because of how could it not, right? With this much destruction in this closely, densely packed area.